Alright, so this is a garden, an indoor garden. It can be easily grown yourself. You can grow just about anything you want, within reason. Fruits, vegetables. That's going to be a melon, that's going to be strawberries. So, yeah, in order to do this kind of stuff, you just need some basic supplies and knowledge. In order to deal with bugs, I'd probably get some kind of neem oil. Doesn't really matter what brand it is. It works pretty well to keep bugs off of it, to an extent, except for water bugs. They'll just keep eating it. They just don't really care. So yeah, you'll need to inspect your plants and probably spray them with neem oil once in a while if they're outside, especially, and if they're inside, 'cause you don't want bugs in your house. That's just gross. If you don't plan on having to use fertilizer every time you water it, it's probably good to take some of this and just shake a little bit into the container when you mix up the soil, or afterwards, or whatever. And for all purposes, it'll just give it the nutrients it needs to, grow. I don't know if it's natural, but it says it is, but it doesn't really mean anything. So yeah, it works pretty well. So here we have 3 lettuce plants, 3 which are red-headed lettuce, I believe, because of the red tint, and 1 that's not. Here's a basil plant. Now, this is about how tall you want them. As you can see, this one's a bit taller than it's supposed to be. I'm going to wait till it grows a bit more, then clip it and plant it in water, just like that, so that it could grow some new roots and create a whole new plant, and then I'll just plant it right in there with the other clones. Here's a clipping from some basil that I put into a small piece of a water bottle. Just put some water in it for it to grow some new roots so I can replant it. Here's some basil that's been sitting in here for a bit in a cup of water. Alright, so if you decide to take your basil and clip a bit of the leaf off, you'll notice over time what happens if you take it and stick it in water is it grows roots. The end is actually a little swollen. See, the roots are actually like bursting forth from both the side there, see, and from here, little white roots. If you leave it in here long enough, it'll grow long enough where you could just plant it right into the soil, and it will just grow like any other plant. Just make sure you hit it with something called neem oil, N-E-E-M. It just stops bugs from eating it and stops molds from growing, things like that. It's really helpful. Yeah. So that's how you clone and propagate plants. This is a zucchini. The pot it's in now, I'm going to have to transfer it from, which is why I made these slits in the side here, to be able to just rip it apart and put it in something else. It's just a cheap container without damaging the plant and the root system that it's created. If you grow a zucchini, you're going to have to remember to manually pollinate it. There's 2 different types of flowers that grow on it, basically. One which creates a zucchini and one which pollinates the zucchinis. Normally, bees or something would do it. But if there's no bees around because you're growing it inside, you could just take the male version and rub it on the female. It's not that complicated at all.